How long will you live for? People are trying to get the most out of life, and for a lot of them, living longer is one way of achieving that. Well, about 20% of living long is your genetics, and the other 80% is your lifestyle and environment. According to a Danish twin study, low-carb, high-protein diets have been the main method to achieve better health outcomes and avoid sugary foods throughout the day. Many people have made great results doing this, and there's a good chance you or someone you know has tried one of these diets before. However, people living in blue zones defy this. They're seen as the healthiest and longest living people in the world. And contrary to many American diets, they have an almost exclusively plant-based diet. They will rarely eat any meat, and if they do, it's probably fish. Americans spend $100 billion a year on diets, exercise programs, health club memberships, and nutritional supplements. Within 3 months of starting a diet, about 10% of people will quit. Within 7 months, only about 10% will remain. And by the 2-year mark, only about 5% will still adhere to the diet they were on. Many people start exercise programs after the end of year holidays and will have quit them by autumn. Eating healthy seems easy. There's so many resources online, people spend so much money to be healthier. We are all aware of the risks of having an unhealthy lifestyle. There's practically every reason to get healthy. So what makes it so hard to hold on to these habits? Is it laziness or is it something else? Let's take a look at how people live in the blue zones and see if we can find some answers. So who are these people? Well, they literally come from all over the world. From Ikara, Greece, Loma Linda, California, Sardinia, Italy, Okinawa, Japan, and Nicoya, Costa Rica. In terms of their diet, it's almost exclusively plants, with 95% of being vegetables, fruits, grains, and legumes, especially being dark greens, blueberries, olive oil, beans, whole grains, and nuts. They'll have fish in moderation, usually being 1 to 3 times a week. And then besides that, maybe having meat that's not fish once a month. They drink primarily water, but you'll find a lot of these societies will also drink coffee and tea, as well as a glass of red wine with dinner. Feels like mostly a vegan or vegetarian diet with fish and meat thrown in there every once in a while. What other parts of their lifestyle help them live longer? All their habits can be condensed in what they call the Power 9, but there's 3 parts of that I want to focus on. One is moving more. You can see a lot of the societies do a lot of gardening, do a lot of walking, and especially for the Okinawans, they are constantly getting up and off the floor because their houses generally don't have furniture and they sit on the floor to eat at a low table. They also practice stress relief daily or weekly in the forms of religion or getting together and sharing jokes. The third one is feeling like you have purpose to your life. For some of them, it's giving back through the community and charity. The Okinawans have a thing called Ikigai, which means purpose to life. And the Costa Ricans call it Plan de Vida. You'll see many articles about people living in blue zones and their diets, but very rarely will you see them talk about their lifestyle and the other contributing factors that might make them live longer than just their diet. The blue zones tout having the most 100-year-olds throughout any other region in the world. But how true is this really? One major problem that can be found is they have very little documentation of when they were born. Only about 18% of exhaustively validated 100-year-olds have a birth certificate, falling to 0% for any inside the USA. And once you get to people even older than that, you find that their birthdays tend to be divisible by 5, leading to this maybe a pattern of fraud and error. Some of these places specifically correspond to regions with lower income, low literacy, high crime rate, and short life expectancy relative to their national average. As such, relative poverty and short lifespan constitute unexpected predictors of centurion and supercenturion status and support a primary role of fraud and error in generating remarkable human age records. So while their ability to live long lives may be uncertain, we could still see the ability to live a long life might have more to do with overall lifestyle rather than just what you eat. Health can be seen as a combination of mental, social, and physical wellness. They all work together to give you not only a good-looking body, but good health outcomes. And even if you look at worldwide trends, we're all eating more meat in general, and life expectancies are still going up worldwide. So while people living in blue zones might have mainly plant-based diets, there might be other reasons as to why they're able to live longer lives, especially environmental conditions having a great impact on your health and longevity. The people in eastern Finland in 1972 had the highest rate of cardiovascular disease in the world. The team led by Dr. Puska reduced the incidence of cardiovascular disease by 80% over 30 years and reduced the incidence of cancer by more than 60%. His approach focused not on the individual, but the environment and the systems around the individual. They made policies that changed their diets by reducing salt, saturated fats, and reducing the amount that they smoke. Getting them to eat better was important, but what was more important was creating the conditions necessary to make those changes and make it as frictionless as possible. Studies on nutrition aren't the greatest, There's so many factors and variables that make it difficult to study. When you look at health advice surrounding diet, the general consensus is that you should reduce the added sugar, eat more whole foods, and drink more water throughout your day. It seems the main idea behind this advice is to eat foods with more nutrients, that'll be more filling, and also be less calories for you. There really is no shortcut to living longer. Changing your environment, creating better habits for yourself, and really putting in the work is the only way to get long-lasting results. So make a life for yourself that is worth living for the long haul. So can you live to 100? Probably not, but most people won't. But that doesn't mean you shouldn't try. Take some control of your health and stick around for the people that matter most to you for as long as you can. Well, that's all I got for you guys today. See you in the next one.